talagang papatayin kita. You destroy a city. And when I became the president, I uttered the same words. Tapos sabihin itong mga gago na si Duterte pinapatay yung mahirap. I apologize for the attire. I thought that I could make it on time to my quarters there in Pasig. Apparently I was busy talking to the ambassador. Is he here? Ambassador Xiao. He was there to preside over the delivery of the arms and ammunitions donated by China. It took about 4 cargo planes as big as the C-130 of the American. And I would like to thank China and President Xi Jinping and the ambassador for their kind assistance. We're talking of charity, humanity, and help. But before that, I'd like to pay tribute and homage to the men and women behind the Chinese General Hospital when it was first established. I'm sure they are not around, but their humanity and love of fellow men remains, and it is conveyed and transferred from one generation to another. My mother was also one of the early workers of Davao Chinese School. And kayong taga Davao, you know that she was a teacher. She was accepted there in 1952. We migrated to Davao in 49 because of her father, who was also Chinese. I'd like to talk about your charity and your sense of humanity and the trouble that we are now facing. Having been a resident of Mindanao for most of my life, I was really worried about Mindanao. And the only reason why I decided to run, it's not because of any shortcoming on the part of the candidates. They were all good, maybe better than me, but nobody was talking about Mindanao. And I was really worried because if ever, Mindanao was just mentioned on the sidelines, lip service lang. Nobody was discussing about what will happen if we lose Mindanao. It was a serious problem then during the campaign. And I was talking a lot about the dangers of being a country that is dismembered. And of course, recently, if you'd noticed during the last 4 months, I was mouthing about, do not force my hand into it. Because pag ang sitwasyon, lalala to, I will be forced to declare martial law. I was not specifically trying to target anybody, except that they were terrorists. But I knew at that time, as I know now, that the terrorists, yung mga Abu Sayyaf, pati di Maoti, were really a part of the ISIS. Young Maoti brothers were in and out, and they went to Libya and Egypt to study. And it was there that they acquired I don't think it's an ideology. It does not have any connection at all or claim to any God or even the goodness of a human being. They are there just to kill and destroy. That's about it. Alam ko na noon na delikado because I was really talking of shabu. And I was complaining, and here they go into mga human rights, why I was always mouthing shabu, shabu, shabu. And apparently, they were trying also to connect the killings. You know, shabu at that time was an apparatus, an organization. And they said, this one senator, if he knows his sense of whatever, it was really growing big. But the bulk of the shabu was being produced in Mindanao and even not in my city. Davao del Sur, Kidapawan, Buldon, Marawi, Cotabato City. Masyadong marami. At sabi ko, if it's just a consumption, everybody will get an overdose. It's just too plenty. And, as a mayor for the last 23 years, and having been a prosecutor once upon a time in my life, was trying to figure out why. And then I realized that, at least in Mindanao, and part of the larger shipments, shabu was funding or was fueling the insurrection. At that time, ang ISIS wala pa sa picture. But when they imported hapilon to central Mindanao, is itausog. At alam naman ninyo kayong the Tausos can never get together with the Maranaos. And the Maranaos could never understand also the Tausog and even the Maguindanao. Hindi magpatayan yan. And that quarrel of them started even before the arrival of the Spaniards. It started with the Shiite Patricia. Yung religion ngayon, nagpapatayan sila doon sa They were battling it out, but 90% of the Moro who are Muslims, 90% of them are Sunni. Marawi is Shiite. Yung motif nila, yung bishop is there. He holds office there. Nung pinapasok nila si Hapilon, nagdududa ako kasi hindi to pwedeng There could only be one reason. There was a poste, a rallying point. Then I realized that it was the infiltration of the IS. Kaya ako nagsabi, do not force my hand into it because they were planting IEDs, improvised explosive devices, everywhere, including the Zamboanga High School. Kaya ako pumutok na talaga, pati mga bata na. Sabi ko, delikado na to. But still, pigil ako kasi, you do not resort to extraordinary powers for a flimsy reason. But when I was in Moscow, I was only about 6 hours there. I was waiting for the chance to meet President Putin. But he finally, kung nalaman niya na alis na ako, he called his men there to tell me to wait because he was from the other region. Russia is a vast expanse of territory. A part of Russia lies in Asia, and a part of it is also in Europe. But I had to, sabi niya, 6 hours, and I got to talk to him. Same problem. Yun ang sinabi ko na sabi niya nga, malakas na nga ang pasok sa ninyo. And I mean, intelligence from all sources. Nung sinabi na inatake yung Marawi was attacked by the ISIS together with the terrorists, mostly foreigners yung nasa forefront. And they were the Kuwaitis who are parang puti yan at a distance you'd sabihin mo Amerikano except for the birds. Talaga, mga puti. May 4 sila nakita, 6, tapos Indonesians because of their language. And Malaysians. Nung sabi ko ilan, sabi ko ito na yun. Kaya kung terorista lang na local, I wouldn't have declared martial law. But since they were already coming here because of their dream to establish a caliphate, a kingdom in Southeast Asia, sabi ko, delikado ito. Nung sinabi sa akin ng mga military kasama ko na the situation is critical because they were attacking also civilians, I had to sign a declaration dated on that day, but I signed it in Moscow, Russia. So that was the truth, I was there. But I sent the electronic copy of my declaration forthwith. So napadala ko. Yan ang problema ngayon. Marami yung patay dyan. Hindi lang including the civilians. I would not speculate on how many Christians were being beheaded, but that is how the ISIS operates. It does not have any compassion at all. No reason to kill a Christian or a child or a pregnant woman. And they are doing it also in the Middle East. They burn you, place you in a cage. At alam mo, sa totoo lang, I went there for the second time sa China. We had a talk with President Xi Jinping and the rest of his